welcome to Bharat News on Bharat TV. My name is Shajiv Jagannathan, and here are tonight's top headlines. Second Lady Usha Vance prepares for a high-profile diplomatic visit to Greenland amid President Trump's renewed interest in the territory. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem will embark on a multi-nation trip to Central and South America as part of a crackdown on illegal immigration. Attorney General Pam Bondi blasts the judiciary over illegal resistance to the Alien Enemies Act, echoing President Trump's call for accountability. And Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer refuses to step down after siding with Republicans on a funding bill, citing the threat of a government shutdown. In California, an Indian origin mother faces murder charges after allegedly killing her son following a Disneyland vacation. And in Indian news, an encounter breaks out along the Jammu border with Pakistan as terrorists infiltrate across the border. Now, Delhi's new BJP government kicks off its first budget session, expected to focus on development and pollution control. Punjab farmers accuse AAP-led authorities of theft and misconduct after protest camps were cleared. And in sports, the Chennai Super Kings beat Mumbai Indians to open their IPL 2025 campaign in style. And on the international stage, Canada's Prime Minister Mark Carney announces a federal election, citing President Trump's trade threats as a key challenge. So let's dive right into tonight's news. Second Lady Usha Vance is set to visit Greenland later this week, marking President Trump's most high-profile engagement with the Danish territory to date. Now, the White House confirmed that Vance also tour historical landmarks, learn about Greenlandic culture, and attend the Avanata Kimesuru, the country's national dog sled race. She will be accompanied by her son and a U.S. delegation, which are arriving on Thursday and returning on Saturday. National Security Advisor Mike Waltz is also scheduled to visit the Pituffik space base, signaling a growing strategic interest in the region. And President Trump first floated the idea of acquiring Greenland during his first term, and has since reviewed the proposal since returning to office. In his address to Congress earlier this year, President Trump boldly declared, "We're going to get it." And this trip is being interrupted as both symbolic and strategic, highlighting America's Arctic ambitions. Danish officials have not yet commented on the visit, and this move escalates U.S.-Denmark tensions over the semi-autonomous region. Homeland Security Kristi Noem will visit El Salvador, Colombia, and Mexico next week as part of the Trump administration's hardline immigration agenda. Her tour will begin at El Salvador's Terrorism Confinement Center, where hundreds of criminal migrants were recently deported. DHS stated the visit emphasizes U.S. partnerships in removing violent illegal aliens. Noem is expected to meet President Nayib Bukele and tour facilities with Justice Minister Hector Villatoro. On March 27th, she will head to Colombia to meet with President Gustavo Petro and elite crime units. She will conclude the trip in Mexico, where she's scheduled to meet newly elected President Claudia Sheinbaum. Noem's visit follows the release of chilling footage showing alleged gang members being marched into prison by Salvadorian officials. The DHS's message is clear: if you break our laws, we will hunt you down and lock you up. Now, this trip underscores the administration's regional strategy to combat transnational crime. Attorney General Pam Bondi criticized federal judges on Sunday, accusing them of obstructing the Trump administration's efforts to deport suspected gang members under the Alien Enemies Act. Speaking to Fox News, Bondi claimed that activist judges are interfering with national security. "This is a federal judge trying to control our entire foreign policy, and he cannot do it," she said. Her comments come as the administration battles a U.S. District Judge James Boasberg, who recently halted deportation flights to El Salvador. President Trump has called Boasberg a constitutional disaster and renewed calls for his impeachment on Truth Social. And Bondi backed the president, stating the courts are overstepping their limits. Now, legal experts expect the case to reach the Supreme Court, where it's the use of a rarely invoked Alien Enemies Act could be clarified. Critics argue that the administration is weaponizing legal tools for political purposes, and the Justice Department has not indicated if it will appeal recent rulings. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer is facing fierce backlash from within the Democratic Party after voting in favor of a Republican-backed funding bill to avoid a government shutdown. Despite calls to step down, Schumer stated on Meet the Press, "I am not stepping down." He acknowledged the bill was far from ideal, but insists a shutdown would have been far worse. Critics say Schumer is enabling Trump's agenda, including Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency, which they fear would dismantle federal programs during the shutdown. Schumer said DOGE would have eviscerated the federal government. His vote has splintered Democratic ranks, with progressives calling for a leadership shakeup, and defenders argue that Schumer prioritized stability over party purity. Controversy underscores deepening divisions within the Democratic Party as it struggles to respond to President Trump's political dominance. It remains unclear whether this incident will lead to lasting changes in Senate leadership. Sanita Ramaraju, a 48-year-old Indian origin woman, has been charged with murdering her 11-year-old son during a custody visit in Santa Ana, California. Shortly after returning from Disneyland, prosecutors alleged that Ramaraju slit her son's throat in a motel room filled with Disneyland souvenirs. She also reportedly attempted suicide by overdosing on pills before calling 911 to report the killing. The incident occurred on March 19th, the day she was supposed to return the boy to his father. Authorities said the boy had likely been dead for hours before her call. Ramaraju has been charged with 1 count of felony murder and an enhancement for personal use of a weapon. She faces up to 26 years to life if convicted. The family have been separated since 2018, and the custody visit was court-sanctioned. The case was stunned the local community and prompted discussions on mental health and child custody safeguards. Security forces launched a major anti-terrorism operation in the Katwa district of Jammu and Kashmir on Sunday, after receiving intel on infiltrators near the India-Pakistan border. A firefight erupted in a dense nursery area in the Sanyal village, about 5 kilometers from the border. The suspects are believed to have crossed the border either through ravines or a newly dug tunnel. The Special Operations Group personnel came under heavy fire, triggering a fierce gunfight. Reinforcements were rushed to the scene, and the area remains under tight security. A 7-year-old girl was injured during the incident, though the case is unclear. Official suspects at least 2 groups of 5 to 6 terrorists entered the area on Saturday. Local villagers reported seeing armed men seeking refuge in a nursery. DGP Nalin Prabhat and army officials are officially monitoring the operation, which is still ongoing. No casualties have been officially confirmed yet. The newly elected BJP government in Delhi will begin its 5-day budget session on Monday at 11 a.m., starting with the presentation of a Comptroller and Auditor General report on the Delhi Transport Commission. The session will also feature a ceremonial kheer offering and community engagement with farmers and traders invited to provide feedback on budget priorities. The second day will see Chief Minister Rekha Gupta, who also holds the finance portfolio, present the Viksit Delhi budget for 2025-2026. The focus areas are expected to include infrastructure upgrades, Yamuna River cleanup, and air pollution control, alongside allocations for healthcare and education. Monday's proceedings will start with a question hour and allow MLAs to raise constituency issues under Rule 280. The government has hinted at citizen-centric budget focused on stakeholder input. It remains to be seen whether an economic survey will be tabled during the session. And this is the BJP's first budget after taking power in the capital. Punjabi farmers are accusing the AAP government and police of stealing property following the demolition of protest camps last week. According to BKU Ekta Sidhupur leader Gurdeep Singh Chahal, supporters of AAP MLAs have been seen in possession of tractors, trailers, and even household appliances seized during the clearances. 6 stolen tractors have been recovered so far in different villages, and 3 police cases have been registered. Jagjit Singh Dalewal, a prominent protester, remains in critical condition as his hunger strike enters day 118. Chahal demanded compensation for losses and accountability for what he called a state-backed looting operation. And police say investigations are ongoing, and any officers involved will be held responsible. The allegations have reignited the tensions between the farming community and the ruling party. The incident may further strain AAP's rural support ahead of upcoming elections. Moving on to cricket news, the Chennai Super Kings began the IPL 2025 campaign with a dominant win over arch-rivals Mumbai Indians on Sunday in Chennai. Led by young captain Ruturaj Gaikwad, CSK chased down 156 with ease thanks to 50s from Rachin Ravindra and Gaikwad himself. Afghan spinner Noor Ahmed starred with the ball, exploiting MI's weakened lineup, which lacked Hardik Pandya and Jasprit Bumrah. MI's debutant Vignesh Puthur impressed but couldn't prevent a 4-wicket defeat. This marks MI's 14th consecutive season losing their match, a streak dating back to 2012. The Chepak crowd erupted with MS Dhoni made a cameo appearance in the final overs. While he didn't score, the symbolic moment added to the atmosphere. Ravindra hit the winning runs with a 6, capping off a commanding team performance. And the CSK's clinical outing sets the tone for another strong season. Moving on to international news, Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney has announced a federal election on April 28th, citing the need for a renewed mandate amid escalating tensions with the United States. Speaking on Sunday after meeting Governor General Mary Simon, Carney warned of President Trump's threats to Canadian sovereignty. During an ongoing trade war, Carney replaced Justin Trudeau earlier this year, following Trudeau's resignation amid party infighting. The Conservative Party, led by Pierre Poilievre, had been leading in the polls until the U.S. trade crisis gave Liberals a boost. President Trump claims Canada isn't a real country, Carney said. He wants to break us so America can own us, and we will not let that happen. The Prime Minister vowed to build a strong economy and a more secure Canada in response. The announcement sets up a high-stakes election with deep international implications, and Trump policies are expected to be a major campaign issue. And that's all for tonight's news bulletin. My name is Shajiv Jagannathan. Stay tuned for more updates, and I will see you next time.